Okay. Just give me a little bit. Oh, Jack, I forgot. Yeah, I'm gonna throw it over. You're not dying. You're not. You're fine. I do. What? I don't even know where that came from. Well, I'm getting windy out there. Oh, that was unpleasant. Hair in my ear. Almost catastrophe. Hey, that's where my booze went. Washed up and ranting about the same old bitter things. Drunk and grumbling on about how I can't sing. All you are is mean. I'm a liar. NDP. Foreign Affairs Critic. I forgot something downstairs in the car. Let's go talk to the dog anyway. Maybe I'm not pretty, just fun. I got a fun. I can't be telling on your words. All I know is
Bank of Canada. Mr. Paul, you have Mike Lucater with Global National. This week on the West Block, former Bank of Canada Governor Stephen Poloz actually said that it's not politics or politicians that have caused this inflationary issue. So I wanted to know your reaction to it, but also, further to that, looking ahead to the fiscal update. What else do you want to see in there as a more long-term issue? Because Poloz has also said the cost of living issue is not something you can take care of overnight.
So what does he say is causing inflation? You claim that you say that he claims it's not politicians causing inflation. What does he say is causing inflation?
I invite you to watch the interview for more on that. But
well, you're asking me to comment on the interview, so tell me what he says is causing the inflation if it's not politicians spending.
The end of my question was actually, what more would you like to see?
I want to address both parts of your question. Let's start with the first part. What is causing the inflation if it's not politicians spending? What is it?
Thank you.
I appreciate the exchange. I think I would really like the question to be asked of you, if that's okay, because I don't think I'm the one who's being interviewed here. So I just wanted to ask you, in terms of the fiscal update, if former Bank of Canada Governor Stephen Poloz is saying that short-term issues or these cost of living issues cannot be addressed with short-term gains. What would you like to see more long-term? How long do you want to see the taxes not be taken?
Listen, the reason I asked you the question is because Stephen Poloz has to get his story straight. He can't seem to make up his mind what he thinks about inflation or deflation. He claimed in May that there was a massive deflationary force. That was barely 6 months ago. He said there was a deflationary force in the economy 6 months ago. We have not had a single month of deflation since he said that. In fact, we've had inflation above target every single month since his statement that there were deflationary forces driving our economy. He also said at that time that, quote, I can say flippantly, I'm not worried about inflation. And now we have the highest inflation in 2 decades, with housing and land prices up 20% in 1 year. Frankly, everything Stephen Poloz has predicted has proven false by the facts. So I'd actually like to understand what his position is. He says that the COVID pandemic was going to cause deflation, and now he tries to blame it for inflation. It's time that he actually make up his mind about what he actually thinks about these things, because he contradicts himself from week to week. And you're probably better if you're listening to him you should look at his predictions and assume that the opposite is going to happen, because that is exactly what we've seen since he started speaking on these matters. So what can we do? Our specific proposal is to cancel the January 1st tax increases that are going to hit workers and energy consumers, and phase out supplementary government spending to end the inflationary deficits and bring down the cost of living.
And this is not my fault, so I'd really still like my follow. But is that just a precision on that? So is that for 1 year only, or do you want to see those taxes? Like, is that only for 2022 that you're asking for that, or do you prefer that to just be frozen for good?
Conservatives do not support any tax increases ever of any kind.
Yeah. Fair enough. So.
Fuck, I hate you. You're such a dick, but you're very good at your job. Just you were not. Wish you were not an oil fucking warmonger. Ha ha ha.
Expression x to the 9 minus c squared. Come in. Hi, Mom. Hi. Still working so late on Friday night? This is my last algebra problem. I'll save my history until tomorrow. Sarah, your father and I appreciate the fact that you take your schoolwork seriously. But, well, couldn't you manage to arrange your time so you could have a little fun, too? I have a certain amount of homework to do, and I like to get it done on time. But you have the whole weekend. You could go out on Friday night or have somebody in. Like then? Is that what you mean? Having a good time is all I mean. And that's why I talked to Ron's mother the other day. You did? Well, I suppose you fixed it so he'd have to invite me over. I might have, if it had been necessary. But I found out that those Friday night get-togethers are open houses. You could go. I know I could if I wanted to. I don't. I think you should go. You're only young ones. Mother, don't be so corny. There's nobody over there I want to see. I think I better finish my algebra. Of course, dear. We'll talk about this some other time.
I go back to the full pass. I should be glad to have you. Okay, Ron, thanks. Take it easy.
Your friends are certainly a nice bunch, Ron.
Yeah, they're the greatest.
Do you suppose they'd like to help you do something really nice?
Well, what do you mean, Mom?
Well, how about being more friendly to Sarah Inman?
Sarah Inman? Oh, Mom.
No, really, dear, I mean it. How you could invite Sarah over here next Friday to join us?
Ask Sarah to come over here? Gee whiz, why?
Don't you want her to come?
No, I don't particularly want her. Sarah Inman.
Now, Ron, you know we've always said that all of your friends are welcome here at any time.
Well, I know, Mom, but well, the idea just kind of grew. We've got a large game room, well-stocked refrigerator, and lots of good records. So the gang started drifting in here on Friday. Nobody needed to be asked, but Sarah never came. She's too high hat for that. She wants a special invitation, and if she gets it, it'll be just one more reason for her to think she's better than anybody else.
Now, look here, Ron. Years ago, when you had rheumatic fever, don't you remember who it was who came over here every day and read to you by the hour?
Well, sure, Mom, but well, she's changed since then.
Oh, no, Ron, I don't think she's really changed. Why don't you give her a chance?
Well, she was good to me once. I guess I can ask her to honor us with her presence. I'll call her tomorrow.
Thanks, son. You know, growing up brings different problems to different people. And some, well, they just don't quite bring it off without falling down somewhere.
Well, if you ask me, where Sarah fell down was when she went to junior high. When she was in grade school, she was swell. She made good grades and had lots of friends. But when she started going to junior high with lots of other sharp kids, she couldn't be a big wheel. Now she's in senior high and,
Oh, it's too bad. It seems, well, you know, it sounds like she needs a friend.
You're nominating me? I don't know. She may cut me dead. She does lots of other people. And I don't think she cares at all.
Her Highness has a new sweater. Ooh, it's luscious. You've got to hand it to Sarah. She certainly has good taste. The way she acts, you'd think nobody else did. She'll hear you. That's an awfully pretty sweater, Sarah. Well, don't speak. Were you talking to me? Never mind. Hear nobody, see nobody, talk to nobody. That's Sarah. No wonder she had any fear. Hey, I'm Nancy Made Secretary.
I made vice president. Bill Tyler.
What's all the excitement?
We're close to the election for next year's student council officers. Bill Tyler made president.
Hey, let's go.
I suppose you don't think Bill's the best man for the job? Oh, that girl. She's just sore because we picked Bill's design for the yearbook cover instead of hers. Let's go to class.
I know you shoot us all out of the kitchen, but I don't mind drying dishes. Besides, I wanted to talk to you, Pumpkin.
You did?
You're so quiet during dinner. Something's bothering you. Care to cry on my shoulder?
Davy, there's nothing to cry about.
Not one whole thing?
There's lots of little things we could talk about. It wouldn't do any good.
I'm waiting.
Oh, all right. You'll think I'm silly. Well, this morning, when I came to class, I was worried about the history test first period. I was going over it in my mind, and somebody spoke to me. Nancy Yeager. I didn't hear what she said, but she looked at me as if she just hated me. I worked hard on the history test, but I flubbed it. I know there are lots of people in there that don't study half as hard as I do, and they come off with the A's. I'm smarter than they are. I know I am. Last week, I worked just hours and hours on a design for the yearbook cover. Bill Tyler handed in just a blotchy sketch. I couldn't see anything to it. But his design is going to be on the yearbook cover. It isn't fair. This afternoon, Ron from next door called and invited me over Friday night. I had to say yes because Mother's been pressuring me, but I don't want to go. Bill Tyler will be there, and I don't like him. President of Student Council. All the kids that get by on apple polishing will be there too, and I don't like them.
Bunkin. I'm sorry you don't like so many people. Friends are important in this world. You should encourage others to make good and not dislike them for it. I think maybe your mother's right. I think you should go to Ron's get-together this Friday. Try to like people for whatever they are.
That's all the dishes. I can clean out the sink.
Okay, Bunkin. Just one more question. All these people you don't like, aren't they happier than you are? Aren't they happier than you are? Aren't they happier than you are?
First choice goes to our new president.
Playing up to Bill Tyler, big man. Everything he does is too clever. It makes me sick. I'm just as good as he is. No, I'm better. He'll get no playing up from me.
I didn't know which was going to wear out first, me or the music. Hey, how about it? You want to dance?
I'd rather not.
Well, you want to sit and talk then?
I'd rather not. Not with you.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad. Now, are you satisfied?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You really froze him out, didn't you?
I don't know what business it is of yours if I don't want to dance.
Well, I think you did want to dance. You wanted to dance, all right, but you just couldn't pass up the chance to be a snob. What's the matter? Did I do anything?
Oh, Ron, they're so mean and hateful. They don't understand anybody who isn't one of their gang and doesn't do all the silly things they do. They don't understand.
A snob, hurting everyone. Herself, her parents, her friends, other people. What makes Sarah act the way she does? Is it a cover-up for some lack she feels in herself? Can a friend like Ron help her in any way? Is the group justified in judging everything Sarah does as snobbery? What do you think?
Enough of that.
One of the few organizations I think you can trust. Mainly because they're not on the government dole, because they don't take any government handouts. One of the few good guys left out there that's untainted by the Trudeau bucks. Those are our friends at the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. Joining us now via Skype is Franco Terrazzano, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation Federal Director, who joins us now. Franco, great to see you again. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, my pleasure.
It was great to see you. I see you have an article in the Sun newspapers. This is from the Toronto Sun. The headline is, Trudeau needs to make government debt a priority. Now, you could read that headline in two ways. And Trudeau would say, I'm making government debt a huge priority. I mean, he's the master of it, but I think you mean it the opposite way, don't you?
Yeah, we mean actually reining in all this massive deficit spending. And Ezra, we just got the throne speech from this government. That's when they talk about all these different types of priorities. And unfortunately, sometimes what is not said is what reveals the most. And we didn't hear a single mention of the word deficit or debt. Now, I get that there's many different priorities that governments have right now, but when you are more than $1 trillion in debt, you would think that debt reduction should be a key priority.
Yeah. Well, can you explain to folks, and I got to say, there's certain subjects I feel like I know a fair bit about, but monetary policy and inflation, I'll admit I only have a sort of understanding of the subject. Can you help our folks out and help me out a bit? How does massive government debt feed into inflation, and what is inflation and interest rates? What do they do? Can you sort of bring it down to street level for me?
Well, the one thing that you have to know is just that the more money or the more dollars that the government prints through its central bank, the less that your dollars in your paychecks or your saving account will buy. And what we've seen during the pandemic is this printing press has been on overdrive. The Bank of Canada has printed up $370 billion purchasing financial assets such as Government of Canada debt. Now, that sounds like a huge amount of new dollars because it is. It's a 300% growth in the Bank of Canada's assets, which is way more than what happened during the recessions of the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even the 08-09 recession.
Well, so what does that do? I mean, a lot of Canadians in certain cities, at least, Toronto, Vancouver, to name a couple, housing prices are so high. I mean, the average detached dwelling in Toronto proper is over $1 million now. I think Vancouver in some ways is even more expensive. What's the effect this has on housing prices for people trying to buy their first house? And what's the effect for people who maybe own their home but have to renegotiate their mortgage?
Well, it's driving up the cost of living. I mean, it's too many dollars chasing too few goods. I mean, there's so many factors that can influence prices day to day. But a key one is the fact that the government can print new dollars out of thin air, but it can't print new houses. It can't print up new farmland. And one of the things that we have to remember is that the Bank of Canada, one of the key things that is buying up is Government of Canada debt. The last that I looked, the Bank of Canada's assets, 85% of that is Government of Canada bonds. So to me, it sure seems like the Trudeau government is using the printing press to finance a good chunk of its deficits.
That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com. Our main story tonight concerns food, or as plants and animals might call it, the afterlife. We love food in America, as you would know if you've ever turned on a television set. IHOP all-you-can-eat pancakes are back. Introducing all-you-can-eat wings, only at Golden Corral. Everyone's favorite endless shrimp is back.
People wait for this promotion all year long.
Riblets. Applebee's is riblets. All that you can eat now, riblet. Sadness.
This is so fucking stupid. Oh my god. Hundreds of kids get their first dose. Fantastic. That's just awesome news. What is schizophrenia? Bunch of bullshit. Okay. Fine, we'll meet you instead. Sorry. Copyright. What if I have athlete's foot? How about that? I have like Flintstone feet. And it's a good thing that I don't give a shit. You can like you could not. I totally do not care. It's like the epitome of my fucking life. At least my mom likes me. Give yourself a hug because you're real game. Thanks, Mom. You don't know what to say. Here's your father. No, don't do that. Hey, why do you feel like I'm badly broke? I had a hard day. Yeah, having a hard fucking day. I was in Korea. I had a hard fucking life. I could grow crops with my tears. Take this little fucking gross off and end the tea party. Nobody gives a fuck if you're sad in this world. Thanks, Dad. You make me look good. Back to zero. Good to meet you.